Okay folks, on today's episode of Robin Hood Archery videos, we have the Marauder Howard Hill style bow from Heritage Longbows. Stay tuned. Right folks, here we go. This is the Howard Hill style Marauder from Heritage Longbows. If you don't know who Howard Hill is, Google him. He's one of the most famous archers in the world. He was involved with the original 1930s Robin Hood film with Errol Flynn. Just Google him, you'll find out. And this was his preferred style of bow. But Kev, what about the specifications? It's 68 inches long. Poundages, I believe, are from 25 to 60 or 65. I'm still waiting for the final specification from Heritage Longbows. The brace height is recommended at 6 inches. Now, I've done a bit of shooting and I've actually found it better at 6 1/4. I'm speaking with the head bowyer at Heritage about getting the recommended brace height changed to suit, and I'll go more into that later on. What else can I tell you? The draw length, again, I'm still waiting for the specifications, but I believe it's 30-inch max draw. But Heritage are very good about making bows that's going to work for you. So again, we'll take that with a pinch of salt. It's a wonderful little shooter. It's got a very, very individual grip. If you take a look at this, it's almost kind of egg shape on the grip here. But I must say, as the moment I started shooting it, it started to make sense to me. It really sits just in that right place there, in that groove behind the thumb pad. It's got horn knocks. You can see here, hopefully that's going to, is that going to focus? Yeah, there we go. Beautifully formed horn knocks. It's all bamboo construction, the limbs and the riser, with black glass on the back and belly. Here we can see a bit more about the riser. The leather grip itself is beautifully hand stitched, really nicely put together quality bow. The kind of feel that it's going to last a lifetime. They've got quite a minimal arrow shelf on these, as you can see there, hopefully, if that's focusing. The head bowyer, the chief bowyer, sorry, let's give him his correct title, Master Bowyer at Heritage Longbows, has told me you can shoot this with or without the protecting pad. I've decided to put one on just because. So before I start going into my thoughts on actually shooting this, we better start putting a few arrows through it. Let's go do that. Firstly, the bow is very smooth to draw. As I said, I think the maximum draw length on these is 30 inch. My draw length is a little under 28, so I'm going to experiment and just bring that back a little bit and see what it feels like. Okay. Same feel, obviously a bit more poundage there, but could feel no stacking whatsoever. Let's go ridiculous with it. I'll try and draw it right back to the length of my arrows. To be honest, I can feel no stacking there whatsoever, which has quite surprised me. It's not often that I draw a bow beyond about 28, maybe 29 inch. I'll need to check how far that was. I've just drawn back, but felt very, very nice. Now, one of the horror stories I've heard about these Howard Hill bows is horrendous hand shock. But I've always wanted to try one, and this is the first Howard Hill I've ever tried. And I've got to say, it's not a problem, at least not on this Marauder. What you do get is a slight hum almost like a musical instrument at the end of the shot. You can just feel that it's vibration, yes, but it's not hand shock, far, far from it. Not even sure if you're going to be able to catch that on film. You can hear that just for a couple of seconds after it's shot. Feels very, very sweet. I'm going to get the arrows back and let's do a few more. So, spoken about the brace height on this, and as I say, I'm in talks with Heritage Longbows. I've approached this in as scientific a way as I possibly could. Basically, I started off at the recommended 6-inch brace height, and I've been out with 4 different weights of arrow, from very light to quite heavy. And then I started playing around with the brace height and draw lengths. So I've tried all different brace heights from about 27, maybe even 26.5 through to about 29.5, 30. And you could definitely feel where the sweet spot was. You kind of work up to that 6 1/4 brace height, okay, and then you go beyond that and you can feel the shot performance and the feel from the bow starting to go off. So then you back it back off until you hit that sweet spot again. And this is with, remember, 4 different weights of arrows. I'm talking total weight, okay? And 6 1/4 was just bang on for this. So I'm hoping they are going to change that recommended from 6 to 6 1/4. Tell you what this feels like. If you've ever shot an English longbow, it's very, very similar to a good English longbow, but you've got the benefit of that kind of central mass from the riser and the arrow shelf. I've got to say, I've been shooting this bow for about a month, okay? I took it on the world famous gathering in Germany this year, which some of you may have seen online. Managed to win the aerial archery competition with flu-flus. I'll stick a photo in here somewhere, or a couple of photos for you. Absolutely amazing bow. This one I'm shooting, by the way, is £45, which is about my maximum at the moment because I've got a bit of shoulder impingement. But it is being very kind to me, I have to say. It's got a feel to it. It's got a character to it. You've got more feedback than your American flat bows, or what they call a longbow in Europe, or recurves and what have you. They with those, the more refined a bow is, I find the more you kind of removed from the character of the bow. All right, this has got just enough character, just enough feedback from the shot to make you realise that you're actually shooting something that you could become one with. And I know that sounds a bit zen, but I kind of like bows like that, with that, you know, they've got some character to them. One more and then we'll move on. Yeah, really nice. And that hum at the end, fantastic. Right, I hope you guys are getting an idea now of what this Howard Hill style Marauder bow is all about. So that I don't bore you all to tears, have a look at some action footage of the bow, and I'll get back to you at the end of the video with my summing up and a few in-depth thoughts about performance and setup, things like that. All right, so I'll catch you guys in a minute. Right, this is for the wind then. Most in the yellow winds. Yep. Okay, that's the shooting done for today. So let's talk about the bow. Howard Hill style bow has really captured my imagination, and it's quite surprised me. It's been very enjoyable to shoot, first and foremost, and I've kind of got quite into the whole Howard Hill thing. Yeah, it makes me smile, which is a good thing. But let's break it down. Where does this smile come from? Well, first of all, the quality of the bow is very good. The engineering that's gone into it, width, taper of limbs, taper of the laminates, the quality of the grip, the exquisite hand stitching on here, the horn nocks is all very well done, I have to say. It's a very good looking bow. As mentioned earlier in the video, you get that feeling that it's a bow that would last you a lifetime, which is great. So that's a good starting point. But it's all very well being good quality and looking good. But what about shooting? Well, it's very smooth to draw. And I think that's down to what the guys at Heritage have done with these bamboo limbs. I couldn't induce any stacking whatsoever, even drawing way past the recommended draw length. And also shooting way past the recommended draw length, there was no hand shock. Yes, you do get that slight, listen to this, right? This is on my chest mic. Can you hear that? That's kind of what you experience on the shoot. You release the arrow, it goes, and then you get that just at the end, but it's never enough to transfer to the grip itself and to your hand. I've actually tried this with string silencers on. Very small ones, about 10 or 12 inches in from the end, and worked very well with this bow. It doesn't need them, you can shoot without them, but just in case that slight thrumming noise did get on your nerves, that's an easy fix for you. What else can we say about it? It's been a very stable shooting platform. Again, it surprised me with the results I've been getting with this. I've been used to shooting bows without any arrow shelf at all for, oh crikey, about a year. Had some time off over winter with my shoulder impingement, but whilst I've been shooting, it's all been off the hand. So whether that has to do with this, the minimal arrow shelf, I don't know. It is minimal, but it is an arrow shelf. It kind of lends itself to wanting you to cant the bow slightly. If you had it vertically, I personally think you could risk the arrow falling off the shelf. So a slight cant for me works. Whether it'll work for you or not, that's a different question. So I'll put my glasses down here so I can see the bow. So yes, shooting, and the results have been there as well, as I say. So it's been an enjoyable experience shooting this thing. I can't think of any negatives to the shooting whatsoever. Right, have I got any negatives about the bow? Couple spring to mind, and they're very small. It's nitpicking really. The front of the nocks, or the back, depending on which way you're looking at it, where it doesn't blend into the limbs, is quite steep for me. I tend to string a bow with the pull-push method, as used by the English longbow archers a lot of the times. So you're pushing the loop up and over that ridge, and it's a little bit steep to get it over sometimes. Now there are inbuilt grooves in one of the horn nocks for a stringer, and I've tried it with the stringer and it wasn't any issue at all. There was no problem whatsoever, just went on. So again, it's a very minor thing. What else? Yeah, while we're talking about the string, the splice was a bit scruffy when I got the bow. I had to take the lighter out, get rid of a few of the loose ends, and then re-wax it. It's no big thing. Other than that, it's a very good quality string. It looks well made, just looked a bit scruffy. So yeah, all in all, I've kind of quite fallen for it. I think you may see me shooting this in videos in the future. So if you're after a characterful bow that's well built, will last a lifetime, it's got loads of different specifications. The guys at Heritage really know what they're doing, led by the master bowyer, Lee. You can't really go wrong. One thing I haven't mentioned is price. I think they're going to come in at around about 520 euros. So quite reasonable for a good quality bow. Yeah, that's it. I've had a fantastic day in the forest. I hope you've managed to take some information out of the video as well as enjoyed watching it. But yeah, we're going to wrap up for the day. Please hit like and subscribe if you have enjoyed it. It does make a difference. And I will catch you guys next time on Robin Hood Archery videos. See you later. Pretty.